Damon here with IGN News. While it is still December 2nd here in the West at the time this video publishes, in Japan it's already December 3rd. To many gamers around the world, this date is important as it marks the date Sony launched the original PlayStation 20 years ago in Japan. On Twitter, the hashtag 20 years of play is trending, with everyone expressing their favorite memories with the console. What would eventually become the PlayStation began not as a standalone console, but as a CD add-on for Nintendo's Super Famicom, Super Nintendo in the West. After several years of collaboration between Sony and Nintendo, however, the deal went south at the 11th hour. Sony decided to go it alone. 20 years later, that seems like a wise choice. PlayStation wouldn't launch in most Western markets until September of '95, where it would go head-to-head with the Super Nintendo during its early days, and later go up against Sega's Saturn and, more consequentially, Nintendo's final cartridge-based console, Nintendo 64. Sony's PlayStation vanquished all of its contemporaries in terms of sheer numbers sold. At over 102 million units sold over the life of the product, the original PlayStation outsold the Nintendo 64 by a ratio north of 3-1 and Saturn by a ratio of 10-1. Today, the PlayStation is still the second best-selling console of all time. Only PlayStation 2 has sold more units, and the fourth best-selling piece of gaming hardware ever released, bested by the PS2, Nintendo DS, and Game Boy. For the next 20 years of PlayStation news, stay tuned IGN.